Shalom family. So in today's video, I want to talk all about plant families. So this is something that I have mentioned quite a few times. I have a video on how to make your own journal of Materia and Medica. I made a couple of posts, and then I also have a chapter in Herbal Holistic Healing all on plant families. But I want to talk about why they're important and why I think you should study them, or why at least I do, and I encourage my students to. All right, so first, what is a plant family? So basically, we have 7 classifications when it comes to plants. And so they go from really small to, of course, big. So the biggest that we have is the kingdom. And then the smallest that we have is the specific species. And so in the 7, we have number 3, which is the third smallest, I guess we'll say. And that is the family. So one of the reasons why I feel like learning your plant families can be really helpful is because plants in the same family will usually have a similar look, they'll have a similar growth pattern, and then they also will have other botanical structures as well. And so by learning about one of them, you'll see different patterns in others. The other part about this is that they tend to have a similar chemical makeup. And so as herbalists, when we're thinking about different actions of plants, a lot of times it's based on different constituents or different chemicals in the plant. And so sometimes you may not have a certain remedy, but if you have something in the family, it may have some concentration of whatever that phytonutrient or whatever that constituent chemical is. So a lot of times they can be substituted for one another as well. Another thing that I want to briefly talk about is actual scientific names. These are like the plant's government name as opposed to like the more nickname or the common names. And so with this scientific name, there's 2 parts of it. And usually that first part will have the genus. And so you can also know plants are kind of related by having that genus or that first part of the name being similar as well. So it's not really that's not really the truth when it comes to the ending of it, but when it comes to the first part, so the first, or I guess what we say the prefix, not really, but of the 2 kind of names that it has, the first name is the one where you can know about the genus connection. So why I wanted to say that little piece about names is because we do learn a lot of different things from it. But like I said, it's more of like a government name. And in African herbalism, names are very important. And that's something that, you may have even heard culturally, that the name has significance. Biblically, names really do have true meaning. And so having that, not necessarily the scientific name, because that's a name that came later, but knowing the most ancient name of the plant can be something that's very important for helping you to connect to the plant. And common names, even though we don't use that because sometimes the common names kind of overlap, or they may be similar, and so it's not really clear about the plant that you're talking about. You find that these names have more of a significance and more of a connection to it. Like if you've ever known someone who maybe didn't change their name on paper, but they go by something else, it's because that name has some sort of special significance to them or some other special meaning to it more than that other name has. So the other reason why I like families is because just from an African herbalist sort of perspective, everything is just so much bigger than us, right? Or so much bigger than one plant. And so when I'm looking at things, imbalances, whatever, it's never just, one part. It's all about systems. And so the same way I see the plant families as systems. And if you think about and I don't know if detectives do this because I don't really know detectives or anything like that, but if you ever watch a movie, they have all different types of things, with thumbtacks, and they have all different type of photos and all of this. And once they see that bigger picture and they can see everything, then it's easier for them to figure things out, as opposed to looking at just one photo or one little clue at a time. When you see the big picture, you can see much more things. It's easier to see the patterns. It's easier to make connections that way. And I feel the same way when it comes to plant families. So I hope that plant families are something that you will look into, especially if you have, like I talked about, an herb journal, your own Materia Medica. This is something that you should be taking a note of, not just scientific names, but also the family as well. And you'll notice that many of them have so many different patterns. If you're only thinking of one plant at a time, you're learning one piece of information at a time, there's just so much to learn. And so it's better to not know a bunch of different pieces, but to be able to put them together and make really big connections, and to really have insightful nuggets. So things all the time, it's just like, wow. You can be so amazed when you look at things, just like when you look at the whole picture. And that's kind of what I feel like a lot of people miss out on, because they are studying in a way where I guess it comes natural when you've been in, school for so many years. It comes natural that way, but it's not the way that we naturally learn, by being more observant. If you think about the way children are, they ask so many questions. Why are things this way? So I feel like we really need to kind of relearn in a childlike manner to be able to get the knowledge. And that's pretty much what the Bible says as well, to be like little children. So that's what I'm going to encourage you all to do, is to really look big and wide. Whenever I talk about, formulas, I say start big and then hone in. So that's what you want to do. Start wide and then go small, but don't start off small and then look and then think that you're going to widen your insights that way. All right, so I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, let me know down below. Let me know what you want to see next. If you made it to the end, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.